What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes here, back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the BUZZmod 1/12 Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer Daki, who is a demon from Season 2, if you're not aware. Let's go ahead and start off by getting right into that sexy packaging. Now, if you know like I know, there's actually an abundance of action figure reviewers in the community right now, but if you're looking for someone to finally spice things up, then look no further. Mountain Art Toys brings you guys all the same information, the same quality as most reviewers, except for the fact that he throws in his own little twist. He adds a bit of nature to it, and honestly, I found these reviews to be very informative and also very soothing. The channel is very, very interesting to watch, and honestly, I quite enjoy these type of reviews because it is a little something different. So make sure you guys go ahead and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. I will leave the link in the description below. Also for his Instagram as well, I'll leave that link. So make sure you guys go check him out and tell him that Ace sent you. Now, as usual with the BUZZmod boxes, they are absolutely too big for no reason. I'm sure they could have condensed this, but still, it looks good nonetheless. You have the black and purple-ish type of theme for the coloring, which makes sense because it fits the character. It does say Aniplex up there, Kimetsu no Yaiba, BUZZmod 1/12 Daki, the window, the figure, and pretty much all the accessories are visible. It says BUZZmod right there, 1/12 scale. Again, you got an image of Daki right there on the front. Nothing much going on at the top. Nothing much going on the bottom, honestly, not too much on the sides either. It just has the Demon Slayer and BUZZmod logo. Then right here you do have the figure and some of the poses you can get it in, as well as some of the accessories that comes with Tanjiro, and then a bunch of stuff that I cannot read because this figure was imported. Now, before I even move forward, I just want to say big shout out to Mountain Art Toys for sending me this, yo. I really and truly appreciate it, and I'll get more into that at the end of the video. I'll discuss how I ended up getting this, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look at this figure after we bust her out of the packaging. Now, straight out of the packaging, the first thing that I want to say is this figure looks just as good in hand as it does in the promo images. BUZZmod figures are tough though, man, and I've said this multiple times. These are the figures that you really have to debate on the right time to buy, because you can either pay your electricity bill or buy a BUZZmod figure. You can pay half of your car note depending on how much you pay, or buy a BUZZmod figure. You can pay, I don't know, a fourth of your rent, or you can buy a BUZZmod figure. These are not coming out cheap, and that is the hardest part when it comes to these figures. Other than that, 90% of the time they are extremely enjoyable, and this figure is no exception to that, man. It's great, especially if you love Demon Slayer as much as I do. She looks wonderful, man. They captured all of her details. I feel like it's a bit lackluster in certain areas. It does come off a bit more bland when it comes to comparing her to other figures, but honestly, it's completely accurate. It's mostly just that pale white skin. It doesn't seem to be any depth to it, but I'm probably just preaching to a choir who isn't even listening, because it comes out of an anime. I don't know. It feels a little flat in certain areas, but that doesn't take away from the figure whatsoever. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a closer look at it so we can examine some of the details. Now, taking a closer look at this figure, she is the pale white demon goddess that she is supposed to be. Goddess, if you choose to call her that. I'm sure some people in her village did. But honestly, this figure looks nice. It's obviously molded in white, and everything else is just painted over. And for the most part, it's all clean and done very well. To be honest, I haven't seen a single paint issue yet. You have the hair that is, it's hard to see the transition, but it is there. I hope that my light isn't too harsh on this figure. I wanted to cut it down, but at the same time, I didn't want the video to be too dark either, and it kind of take away from the quality, but it is there. You can kind of see where it begins to transition. The paintwork for the face looks very nice. They painted the kanji in her eyes, the lipstick, of course. She's got cracks all over her body. I don't know what that's for. It's kind of a demon thing. One thing I want to highlight though is the hair. They did such a good job on the hair, going from this white with some, it looks like it has a few hues of blue in there, or maybe even gray, and then it just transitions to this green, this lime green color That looks amazing. Honestly, I probably would say that's the best part of the figure. I also like all the ties and things she has in her hair. These are also painted very nicely. They have a bit of a shine to them and almost a bit of realism. The clothing looks very nice also. Literally no issues with this figure in terms of paint, man. They did such a good job. Honestly, I'd say the only area they probably might have slacked off is right around the sandals. The strap around the sandals looks a bit weird, but that's not bad. I don't know if it's accurate. I feel like they probably should have painted it more of a grayish color to kind of separate the whites, but it still looks fine. Like, it looks really good, man. Love all these flowers and things that are painted in her clothing. All of this figure looks nice. And then, of course, these little sashes that she attacks with, these look very nice as well. Obviously, there's some bendy wire in there to help with the articulation on these. They did a good job, man. Some very, very interesting creative choices with this figure. And I support it all. As of right now, I am completely here for this figure, as I usually am when it comes to BUZZmod figures anyway. Now, when it comes to the height of this figure, she actually feels very tall. To the top of her head, she is almost 6 inches. Not quite there, but she's close. Now, that could be because of the sandals that she has. As you guys can see, they do raise the figure up to be quite a bit taller. Now, that being said, though, the sandals do kind of cause a bit of trouble when you're trying to get her to stand. It's fine sometimes, but you have to make sure that the weight is distributed equally. Otherwise, she is going to tumble over because the sandals can make the figure top heavy. Just something I wanted to throw out there in case I forget to say that later. Now, when it comes to the articulation, the hair is on a hinge, so as you can see, it does lift up, but it's not going to hold at all. And also, it's 2 separate pieces, so I think they added that just to give it a little bit of depth. It's not very effective, but it is there. You can get it to blow out like this also, but it's not going to stay. It's not going to hold a pose just because the hair is way too big for that hinge. Now, when it comes to moving her head, she looks down about that much, which I think that's fine. I wish she could go a little further, but it doesn't. She does get really good tilt and turn at the head. Now, one issue I've ran into with pretty much just everything, no matter how you pose this figure around, she will separate at the waist. That has happened a lot during this review. It can be pretty frustrating, but I'm going to try to move on. Her arms go up and out about that much. She can bring them in just fine, even though, and there you guys go, that's that torso or waist issue I was telling you about. But yeah, her arms come in about that much. Now, I'm not going to force this figure too much because it's not mine, but I'm going to try to cover all the articulation bases. She does get a swivel in there, single jointed elbow, but it does have really good range, so that's not something to worry about. Also, this figure is pretty squeaky, but obviously there's no oil attached, and I'm not going to apply any. Now, our hands are on a very, 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 very small, actually a ball peg. I was thinking it was a hinge, but no, it is a ball peg. So they're going to stay. They're not something that's going to be popping off like the waist. Now, at the waist, you guys saw that. I just barely moved it and it came apart. She does move around kinda, but and that's another issue. The faces fall off also. Now, this isn't an issue that's exclusive to Daki. I've had this happen with Tanjiro. I think I also had it with Giyu. And so, yeah, the faceplates do fall off once you maneuver it. Anyway, the waist, you can get really good tilt and turn. I wouldn't mess with front and back because that's just going to happen every time, unfortunately. And it's because the sash pieces are tucked in their sash pieces. And speaking of those, you can pose them around pretty much however you want, and they do hold a pose. I figured I might as well go ahead and show that off. So if you want to get her in those attack poses where they're guarding her, or if you just want to get her like wrapping herself up with these, you can totally do it. So these are very effective. Honestly, I think it's the best part of the figure. These ties right here are on a ball peg, so these move around just fine, so you can get them out of the way. The legs go out about that much, and eventually they will pop off because they are meant to, and you just pop them back on. Now, one issue I also have is there's a bit of a separation at the thigh cut. As you guys can see, that might just be this copy. You can push it in and hide it, but when you start moving the figure around, it does kind of tend to show itself. It's not ugly or anything like that. I mean, it's to be expected with these type of figures, but yeah, I've never really seen that happen before, so I don't know how they did that with the engineering, but whatever. Anyway, at the knee, it is a single jointed knee, but the range is still very decent. Now, of course, if you want to bend it more than this, she does come with interchangeable leg parts that I will show later. She does get really good ankle rocker. Foot goes down about that much, up about that much, and once you lift the foot up, as you can see, it actually comes off of the sandal as it is supposed to. Again, be careful with those sandals, because if you don't pose her right, she will definitely fall over. But I still think that's a really good attention to detail. And then the ankle rocker and all of that is there as well. So articulation wise, pretty much the standard that we get with BUZZmod. It does have a few issues. The main one being the pieces that are falling off and coming apart. That is just frustrating. So yeah, be expecting that if you do pick up this figure. Honestly, with the design of it, I feel like that's something that would happen with every copy. Now, when it comes to the accessories for this figure, you don't get a whole lot. This is how she comes straight out of the packaging. She has her signature smirk with a pair of almost like clawish type hands. You can use them for stylish poses, whatever you want. But yeah, those are what she comes with. She comes with a pair of reaching hands. She comes with a pair of fist hands. And then she does also come with a pair of relaxed type hands. Now, as I mentioned earlier, she does also come with a pair of interchangeable legs. This is for when you want to get her in those low crouching poses. Now, I saw some people on Instagram going ham with these. Don't forget, guys, technically she's still mentally the same age as when she became a demon, so relax. All right, relax. Anyway, she comes with her signature evil laugh, which honestly, this is probably my favorite faceplate. I think it's the most anime accurate. She does come with her teeth gritted face. This is where she's ticked off. She comes with her scared face. This is when Nezuko is giving her the beats. And then she comes with this face that I don't remember. I remember it happening, but I don't remember what led to it or what this third eye-ish thing is. So yeah, if you know, remind me. Now, the dopest thing that she comes with are these interchangeable faceplates for Tanjiro. And this just goes to show that BUZZmod has improved, because these are leagues better than the faceplates we got with the initial Tanjiro. And honestly, I wish I could show these off on the body, but I no longer have that figure. I sold almost all of my BUZZmods. Honestly, I only have Uzui and I have Akaza somewhere. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't show these off on Tanjiro, but they look really damn good in person. Now, that's pretty much all you get in terms of accessories. I wish she came with more, but I don't really know what else they could have added for her, because that's pretty much it. She fights with these little, whatever these are, on her back. So yeah. Now, moving on to size comparisons, here Daki is standing next to the Figma or Good Smile Company Demon Slayer crew. We have Tanjiro Kamado on the left, we have Zenitsu in the middle, and then we have our boy Inosuke on the far right. Now, as you guys can see, she is much taller than the three of them. I don't know if this is accurate or not. Now, if you want, you could chalk it up to her being a demon. Now, of course, the BUZZmods are going to be a tad bit taller than these, but honestly, not very much. So that means technically they still made Daki taller than they made the Demon Slayer corpse. So that's quite interesting. But that could be because of these sandals. So yeah, let's not forget to take that in consideration. Here she is standing next to the Figma or Good Smile Company Nezuko, a BUZZmod Akaza, and also a BUZZmod Tengen Uzui. Now, as you guys can see, she's actually even taller than the BUZZmod Akaza, which, again, I don't know if it's accurate, but it's obvious that it was intentional when it came to the production of these figures. She's tall, and you can see she scales to the chest of Uzui, who is also very tall. So yes, I do think this was intentional, and if so, then that means that maybe she is taller than Tanjiro and his crew. Here she is standing next to an SH Figure Arts Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness Yuji Itadori, a Figma or Good Smile Company Rengoku, and as you can see, she's taller than Rengoku, who I know is taller than the BUZZmod. Again, intentional. And then lastly, we have her standing next to an SH Figure Arts Street Fighter Rainbow Mika. Don't ask why. Last but not least, here she is standing next to a Metacom toy or Mafex black suit / symbiote Spider-Man, a Dawson model Yusuke, who I just reviewed. Go check that out if you haven't already. And then a Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. Now, my final thoughts on this one are going to be a little bit different because I'm kind of half and half on this one. Is she worth adding to your collection? Definitely. Is she worth the price? Definitely not. And I know that is kind of contradicting, but I'll be honest with you guys, man. First, I'll start with why I say she is. If we're being honest, what other company is going to give us a Daki figure? The only company we have that's making Demon Slayer figures that are good, or at least close to it, is Figma. And let's be real, we ain't even got Tomioka yet. Honestly, we ain't even got a prototype of Tomioka yet, let alone a release date. So why in the world would we be getting Daki anytime soon? It's just not going to happen. And then with the way they slacked off with their Akaza figure, I don't even want to see what they would do with Daki. I'm just going to act like it's never going to happen. We could bring up McFarlane, but who wants to do that? So that's why I would say it's worth having. It's literally the only company that's going to give us a decent Daki figure. Now, on to why I say it's not worth it. This figure is roughly $160. I'll say that again. Roughly $160. And is plagued with flaws. It has a lot of good, don't get me wrong. The aesthetics, great. The overall look of the figure, great. Accessories, decent. Paint, great. But it's just the falling apart, man. It's like, BUZZmod, you guys have made enough figures. We shouldn't be having this issue. With the way that this figure is designed, no matter how many times you turn it, it's going to fall apart at the torso. Face plates are constantly going to fall off. We shouldn't have any gapping in between the thigh cuts. This is all stuff that should have been worked out before this figure was released by the manufacturer. Like, these figures cost too much for these kind of problems, if that makes sense. Now, that's not to say it's a horrible figure. It's entirely up to you whether you think it's justifiable to spend that much money on a figure that has these mistakes. Now, it might sound like I'm telling you what to do. I'm definitely not. But I want to leave it at that, honestly. There's no point in me explaining any further. It's a decent figure. Is it one I'm going to be adding to my collection? I'll have to think about it. I'm not entirely sure right now. But for the people that have been wondering how I got this figure, honestly, it was sent to me by Mountain Arts, who I made sure to shout out in this video. He saw me crying on Instagram, telling people I wasn't going to review this one anytime soon because it was too expensive. He messaged me telling me that he would send it to me, and all I had to do was shout him out. And honestly, he got it in the mail the same day. Absolutely crazy, man. I cannot believe how good of a person he actually is. Guys, I'm going to say it again. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel. The link is going to be in the description below. Also, make sure to follow him on Instagram. I'm going to try to attach that link as well. Big shout out to him, man. He pretty much told me that he'd send me anything he got his hands on as long as I shouted him out. I'm not the type of guy to take things, but I really wanted to review this one. So again, I appreciate it heavily, man, and just know that I'm going to be paying you back for the shipping forwards and backwards. So yeah, but anyway, that's my review. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, not just for me, but to him for sending me this so that I could bring you guys this review. Also, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I upload new content, and follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.